That's more juice than I've ever gotten from this. Welcome to the show today, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and make a super cut of all the great stuff we've said over
Oh my gosh.
the times. Like that.
Stream opens. I got juice!
So I feel like I should open it up with the dark shit real quick. No one's watching, but if you are watching, you guys probably heard the Toe Biscuit is fucking...
Yeah.
He's done.
I didn't tell you last night, I forgot.
But
No,
I didn't know.
I just wanted to say out there on the internet, you're a fucking beast, and good
Yeah.
on you, bro. Live your life.
Yeah.
That's it. Because
He's retiring, basically.
he posted a big thing, retiring and saying goodbye. That he's actually going to continue to stream sometimes with Jenna.
Yeah.
Like in a co-op family.
And podcast.
Yeah. But like as long as it's like a family, it's something he loved. But a lot of the stuff he was. So it's cool. We'll still see some of him. But that's because I mean he hasn't been since all of that shit has happened. He hasn't been as influential or as big of a talking piece as he was. But like he's the reason why people check PC specs immediately now. Like everybody does. Like that whole and his breakdowns of like menus and going to the game settings and being like on PC this is unacceptable. Why the fuck can't I have that kind of stuff is why we're at where we're at. So there was a time and place where he fucking really changed and made the game community better. So I just want to say that.
Big ups.
Yeah, big ups.
Biscuit.
And we're gonna switch up real quick. We're gonna go to a spoopy ass podcast stream for you guys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I forgot that we didn't discuss it last week when we hung out, and I was like, oh my god, not only did I not listen to it, but I can't remember what I was supposed to listen to, but then I remembered that we were
So we're going to skip Atlanta this time, and just do the No Sleep. They didn't have a chance to watch it this week, so we're just going to do it next week, which that gives us a chance to rewatch them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You want to start?
Yeah. So it's No Sleep Podcast, episode 25, the season finale. Season 5, season finale. I kind of have this like love-hate relationship. Mostly hate with the No Sleep Podcast in general. I feel like they don't really quality control very well, and a lot of the voice actors like really irritate me. But this like one like season like the season 5 episode 25 I like stumbled upon it and was like I really like this one. Actually this is like the one that I like. I thought it was a good story, kind of spooky, not necessarily like super like I didn't necessarily get like freaked out, but I was like ooh, like kind of been like what's gonna happen. You know, that
You're
sort of
invested.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
Sounds good.
I liked it quite a bit. I really liked the sound the sound editing and that. They did a really good job of like making it like spoopy. Of course, I wasn't really like it wasn't really that spoopy, like you said. It wasn't like raise the hairs on the back of your neck or anything like that. But
it like
it wore you down rather.
Yeah.
It set the mood.
No, it's good. And like you were saying earlier, I definitely like I was listening to it at work, and I was listening to it with both headphones in, and like for the majority of that podcast I'd be turning around going, what the like who's talking to me, or what is someone like fucking with some stuff behind me, that type of thing. But the story in general was really well done. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Good spoopy.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the just kind of in the beginning, like I like the stories where if you're kind of fucked in a wilderness scenario, it was pretty realistic about like they kept losing gear and they didn't really have a lot via context. Like when they had to just run off, they lost shit, or it's just like the woman in the cave had stuff that they just didn't have access to because it's like, okay, well now we're running in this direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. The sound. I was sitting on my couch and I had my earbuds in, and it was just like these like weird little noises that weren't like automatically like you could tell that they were manufactured. They just sounded like a normal like tap or something, and I turned around, I thought my cat was coming down the hallway or something. Like nothing does that to me, not even games. Like I don't just go, huh? Like I was just like, what the fuck? There was multiple times where I took my headphone off and I was like, it is this. I was like, what?
Because you're making me wish I would have listened to it in headphones.
It was just like these little noises where I was just like, wow, this legitimately sounds like. So yeah, the sound was incredible. Like, but yeah, no, I liked it.
I would say the production quality was great. That was the best No Sleep production quality I've ever heard.
I haven't listened to any other one, so
I've listened to like 1 or 2 seasons. We listened to we gave it a good shot. I just don't like horror podcasts. Really, what it comes down to. But I think besides that, like No Sleep in general, the main guy with the shaky voice, he always does that voice. I get that's his voice, but he's not a voice actor, so I don't understand why he continues. Now that he has this podcast, just hire some people.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Because, like, and you play the scaredy cat guy. Stop trying to make yourself play the guy that's the big guy while you're talking like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something that really gets on my nerves, and I kind of noticed in that podcast, or in that episode, was like there's a couple times where he tried to, like, man up.
Yeah.
But it's like, while he's manning up, his voice is shaking. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I noticed that too.
Which
that
is
her voice actor was good, but the guys was not.
Yeah,
I really liked hers, but the guys,
It's just he's the same every time. That's the problem, and it's in the voice acting world, that's not okay.
No, yeah.
You know?
But that's not acting. That's just reading.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, well, there are movie actors as well who just play themselves, and I still kind of like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of different in movies.
But they choose their roles according
sure.
to their type of cast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like they don't.
They can't play everyone, but
right. You know, I mean, you're not gonna fucking stick Carrot Top in a fucking serious dramatic role. You know, even though he's good at Carrot Top, what Carrot Top does, like.
Yeah.
I on the note of like hearing stuff like that happens to me with just like music nowadays with how many fucking high notes and low notes and shit they have. When I'm like I'm gonna go walk down to the vape store and put the headphones in, like every once in a while there'll be like a sound in the thing and I'll be like, is that like someone tapping behind me? Or and then I hear it again in the song.
Yeah,
like,
just like,
what the there was some other stuff I want to say about that I did enjoy. The noises, the music was at a good level. I just felt whoever they got to do that podcast, whoever the production dude was on point, and I don't think that was their regular production guy.
Oh, really?
Unless he just, I mean...
I don't think so either.
It must not have been, because if that's...
budget for the finale or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. So I thought that was excellently done.
Well, yeah, I usually would listen to it while I was, like, doing chores or whatever, just kind of, like, bopping around the house, and I was listening, like, I just kind of threw that one on and started doing something, and I was like, oh, like, this sounds good.
Yeah.
Like, this is not like the other
whole
stuff.
New mics and everything sounded like it was a whole new... I wonder if they probably rented out a whole new spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One piece that I wanted to add was when they woke up the next morning, once they found the cabin and they found the tracks all around. I was
cool.
just like,
Oh yeah.
That was a good part.
I also forgot that I wanted to. The whole beginning portion in the forest was my favorite part. That was the most the most horrifying to me. Like, in that part was the part where I was actually getting it was. That was the part that was getting me a little bit spooked and stuff like that, because I could imagine like being desolate in a forest area like Washington's forest where there's just shit everywhere and you can't like.
It's about to snap.
It's just dark everywhere, and it's
and
like there's just something following you or whatever.
Well, and you get your husband back. And
I'm so glad we're playing that last two right after we.
I know. Right? That's a good combination.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Oh damn! There was something that you brought up that just made me want to bring up. Oh, okay. So the only time that I've ever really except when I was like younger, but like when I would read Stephen King, doing security on like large fucking industrial lots with no one there, like I'd be like reading fucking whatever, and then have to go to a patrol and walk through the.
Why do you do that to yourself?
it was a good book, and I would listen to Clyde Lewis, the fucking conspiracy talk show thing, because it was like Jerry Springer of the fucking radio. But like every once in a while, I'd be like walking out like.
Oh, I bet.
And I'll be like, after listening to fucking all the spooky shit and stuff, I'll be a little jumpy. There'll be a cat or something. And there would be those industrial fans that leave right outside. And so the wind would blow, and you know how they'll knock? Mm-hmm. But there's no one there, there's no other sound, so you're just walking in and wham! Like, echoes through the whole thing. You're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, what could that possibly be?
Yeah. Fuck. So that was, I used to get, like, kind of a little jumpy during that time. But, yeah, I think that someone could do it, though, that I like a horror.
Yeah.
I just think that right now we're kind of reliving the olden
like radio dramas. Yeah, we definitely are. Yeah.
What's the not the adventures though? What's the the Grand Adventure podcast or some shit?
Radio dramas.
You know, it's like a really big BBC podcast.
My grandma
has
like a bunch of them on Fight.
About like it's almost like an Indiana Jones adventure. It was like one of the first like ones that brought radio dramas back. I tried that one.
I don't think I've ever actually like sat down and listened to like an old radio show before.
Yeah, I would like do it while I would draw or like we'd do a puzzle or something.
That's cool.
We're gonna give rating.
Wait, I didn't get to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Your turn.
I liked it. I love reading No Sleep, and I have kind of the same gripe about the No Sleep podcast that you do, that they don't quality control very well. In fact, I almost think they handpick like the shittiest stories.
I like reading No Sleep too, and that's why I started listening to the podcast.
Right,
and that's why I picked
really
a whole bunch of them, and I'm like, why are you picking this one? Like, Tales of People in High School and shit. Like, they're good ones.
So I will say this is 100% my favorite No Sleep podcast episode I've ever listened to, and I've listened to quite a few. I think I've heard the whole first season. However, I will say it drug on too long for me. I was frustrated with how long it was, and that's saying something because I literally spent all day on my days off listening to radio drama style podcasts. Yeah. So like, it was way too long for me. I also was frustrated because I felt like I knew the ending before it happened, and one of the things I like about No Sleep is because they're often written by people who don't have like a writing degree or whatever, they don't always follow the natural progression of a story, and I like that. I feel like the No Sleep actual like subreddit surprises me a lot. Yeah. And even though I felt like this was a really good story, and I think if I would have read it, because it would have taken me less time to read it than to listen to it, I wouldn't have even been bitching about the length. But like the length bothered me, and the fact that the ending felt predictable bothered me. Like I felt like they foreshadowed it a little too much.
Yeah.
Like the last 20 minutes, I was like, can you fucking get to it already? Because we know what's happening. Like, but I did like it. I did really like the production value. Like I felt like it was, like everyone else said, it was a lot higher than their typical. And I did like the ending. Like, I liked what the ending was. I felt like it was a good ending. I just think that they could have hinted at it a little less so that it was a little... I felt like it was intended to be a very surprising ending, but they went too heavy on the foreshadowing. Yeah. And so it was not surprising.
Yeah. I can see that.
But I do like the concept, and I do like... I really enjoy stories where what you think is the monster turns out to be a good guy. Like, that is something that is a literary device that I enjoy a lot. And so I was like glad that it ended that way, but I was also just like, fucking goddamn it. But I also liked the I liked the whole sequence. I enjoy when stories have a character do something that I can't possibly wrap my brain around why they would do that. Like, I find that very interesting. And the whole thing with her cheating on her husband with that guy, like, I really don't understand that kind of behavior. Yeah. So it was kind of an interesting, like, I almost think that they used that to make us dislike the main character a little bit. Yeah, and I kind of appreciated that. Like, like, this person's not a hero. Yeah. You know, like, I appreciated them establishing, like, this person is, like, kind of a crap person. Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know.
It's like a recounting of events rather than, like, here's my...
Right, exactly. Like, it almost made me feel more real, because it was like she was explaining that she had done this thing, and she knew it was fucked up. She knew it was fucked up when she did it.
Yeah.
And then, like, the aftermath of her dealing with this fucked up thing that she did within the larger story was really interesting.
Yeah.
And I definitely... It definitely also made me question if the reason the other guy wanted to either kill her husband or let him die was because he wanted to be with her. And it was just, I don't know, it was interesting, the smaller interpersonal drama within the larger story was very interesting to me.
Well, that was his brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were brothers.
Yeah.
So.
It's the old, what's that movie you want me to watch?
Greasy Strangler.
What's that story?
I had a buddy watch it last night.
It's
funny you brought that up.
I told you I went and, I had a buddy at the Watchmen tell me a lot, and then I just went and read the whole story.
Oh, Greasy Strangler?
Oh,
no, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I just read it all.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it's not a good read.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a terrible read. It's not made for...
I mean, it was...
But I mean, if he's never going to be able to stomach watching it...
No, I get it. No, you're good.
Stomaching reading it.
I'm sure.
But Wikipedia does a good job explaining
But
exactly
when he was sitting and reading it, he was like, I can't watch this.
No, yeah, I know.
Watch this.
Yeah. After you explained why you
eventually.
didn't want to watch it, I was like, okay, then don't watch it. That's fine.
That's like a phobia for you. Like,
But you know, that's
cool.
kind of the same story with the brothers and the...
Now I want to watch.
Well, yeah, don't tell me because I probably will watch it someday.
Oh yeah, don't spoil
just
anything.
talking about it. Now I was on the.
I just got a buddy to watch it last night with his girlfriend, and now he's telling everybody.
I just forgot about it. Now I'm like, okay,
yeah,
I gotta watch it.
But we've got like 3 or 4 people watching it at work because
so
Andre is, relentless.
Oh, nice. Do we want to go to ratings?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right, Alex, what do you think?
I will give it a 4.8 because I really didn't like the guy's voice acting.
He really does do. He out of everything, like even
it takes me out
from an outside perspective, who's like,
Yeah.
I don't really like this genre. Like he in particular, like stuck out to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really.
But I really liked everything else.
I would give it a 3.5. I really liked the beginning, and then it kind of trailed off for me after that. I just think the forest was the best part, and I wish they could have condensed it to the forest.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, though. It could have been shorter. They could have not done that whole. I mean, they would have to do an ending, but there was a lot in there.
I think they could have done the same ending.
Just quicker.
A lot quicker. Yeah,
wrap
for
it
sure.
up, wrap it up.
Yeah. Right after the cabin.
They could probably done it an hour 40 instead of 2 solid.
Yeah.
Or an hour 35.
Yeah.
I feel like if I wouldn't have been playing video games while I was listening to it, I probably would have lost interest and shut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, before it wrapped, I can feel that.
Yeah, I was working, so.
Yeah, if I wasn't just doing
sense.
a task that I,
Yeah.
I probably would have just shut it off and listened to something else.
3.5.
Yeah, okay. So I thought of a couple more points real quick.
Oh yeah, go
I
for it.
wanted to bring up. Problem I have that I figured out, the main problem isn't the corniness. It's there's no tonal change in most of the horror podcasts I've listened to.
Yeah.
It's always even when you're at breakfast with the kids, they're what's that one? Tannis, kind of like the girl. She always kind of talks like this.
Yeah.
And I was walking down the street and I noticed a light went out. It reminded me of when blah 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 died.
Yeah.
And it's never there's never tonal shifts. It's not like a story. It's like this big, not
everything is spoopy.
Yeah, exactly. Not
Yeah.
everything needs to be spoopy. You
Yeah.
can kind of shift it up. I will say that I almost want to give the production value and the story and the actors 2 different reviews. The production was 5 for me. That's how it should be done if you want to get me into it.
Yeah, true.
But the story they picked out of all the No Sleep podcasts, because I've read quite a few No Sleep podcasts from back in the day on 4chan and shit too, and those were fucking spoopy in the middle of the night.
Creepypasta be creepy, for sure.
But part of that creepiness is the anon aspect, and the fact that this is anywhere it's either was going to be dude from fucking Russia posting this in Chernobyl. You don't know. You can bring up you can make that own lore inside your head from that perspective, right? But
there's no credibility. There's no accountability.
Yeah.
So it's why would somebody you have the allure of like, well, why would you lie? Because people lie on there.
Exactly.
But like,
exactly.
you have the extra little bit like,
if you want. You know
there's no username, there's no bullshit. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, and
like,
that's why I like. I switched over to mainly SCP reading when I want to read that kind of stuff, is because there is quality control on the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Things that aren't getting traction or as much reads, the larger part of the community that does most of the work vote on if they're going to drop that SCP number, because each one is numbered, and replace it with one of the new written SCPs, and which one got voted in the forums, which one got blah blah blah, and so they'll drop something that's getting way less traction or outdated or something, and then they'll replace that numbered SCP with another SCP, things like that. So yeah, I'll at 5 production, I'm gonna give it like a 2 on story and actors.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm kind of with Tyler, whereas I would have kind of liked to give them separate scores, but I'm gonna condense them into one score. I feel like the production value was incredible, like better than a lot of the radio dramas I've been listening to, and since that's a genre that I really like, feel like I'm well versed in, like it was really good production value.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially whoever the frickin' what are the guys that make that make the sound effects on? They're Foley. Whoever their fucking Foley was is incredible.
For
like,
sure.
Like good fucking job.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, like what you guys said makes me wish we had listened to it in headphones. You know.
Yeah.
It was uncanny. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Just,
but
I'm sure as a solitary experience, it's
and I feel like the beginning of the story was so strong, but I feel like the end was so weak.
Yeah.
And the acting was so weak that I have to give it a lower score. But like I definitely appreciated the production value, and I might be more interested in listening to the No Sleep podcast if more of their stories had that level of production value.
I've tried like that. So like I was on like a kind of like a kick. It was like near Halloween. I was like, oh, I'm spooky, you know. Mm-hmm. And then I found that one, and then I tried to listen to like
I'm gonna
further along from there
for
a while, and I just
This was definitely. I mean, I did like it. Like, I enjoyed myself much more than I would have if I would have been not listening to it. So, like, you know, I mean, it was definitely, I liked it, but I just, it wasn't quite. It didn't live up to its potential, I guess. So.
I like the kind of the journal page where he's putting the dates and stuff. It's been a while since I've read something like that.
I just think that the guy who started it, good on you for deciding that you could read stories off the internet and make money with it. But you need to take a step back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem with you owning the show, being a part of the show sometimes, but like.
And he's in all of like the season finale.
He's like the guy.
He's in most of them that I've listened to anyway.
Yeah. And I mean that's probably why I didn't continue listening.
His voice annoys me very much.
It definitely gets to me. That's my. If I were to give them, I'd be like, dude, just take a step back. Be the director. Be the fucking whatever. But just take a step back. Realize that these are stories written on the internet. You didn't write them. So you don't need to be in here. This isn't your break into acting. So let's just like make a fucking let's just make this podcast, with actual voice actors. Get Vegeta in that bitch. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Mondo cool.
Mondo cool.
Did you listen to?
That's right,
episode
boys.
12?
I just listened to it.
Oh my god.
So there's this.
When she's like Trunks gang signs, I was like,
when
so funny.
When they're talking about Vegeta sitting there with the Namex, being like, they're like, I don't know where like Ted is. And
Dan had to ask his wife, he's like,
he was
I fucking killed him, man.
Someone spliced the audio of him saying that, like that whole like them conversing and talking about it on the podcast over the scene. So it's like Vegeta is like says that he does it, and it's just like it was a meat fuck bag, fucking blah 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 blah. Mondo cool. He sits back down and
like Dan had to ask his wife. He's like, at pause. He's like, does Vegeta's shirt say "bad man" on
Bad man.
Oh, so good.
There's a guy next to me at the tattoo shop today getting Android 16 tattooed on him.
Dope.
Nice.
And he was like, it was funny because the girl doing it, you could kind of tell that she wasn't like super into Dragon Ball, and he was explaining like the whole character arc and why he was getting that one and why it was important. Even though it was cool, I was like,
that's awesome.
That's great.
Like,
I was over there like dying, like I'm appreciating you on the inside.
So we'll be right back. We're gonna transition into gaming. So stick around if you're there.
we have a couple of viewers on